a lot of people, when they get emotional, they can't think logically. And, you see this in arguments between men and women all the time. One person gets emotional and now, it spirals because they can't reach common ground. And for poker players, if you get emotional, like the most typical thing you see is a guy, the river card comes and you lose and you didn't want to lose. So you're angry. So what do? All right, I call. It makes no sense. It's like you know that you should fold now because you just like your hand's probably not good anymore. But because you're mad that happened, you compound the mistake by like calling and like making sure you get shown the nuts. And then you're like, yeah, damn it. And this is this is the most kind of trivial example. But obviously, if your emotions cause you to play, it doesn't matter how good you are. If you play really poorly relative to what you're capable for, whenever your emotions get activated.
So don't they call that in poker, you're on tilt, or this guy's on full tilt or something like that?
Yeah, that actually comes from like a pinball machine. Like if you were playing pinball and the ball would get stuck in one of these little flippers, the guy would like literally lift up half the machine and dump it to kind of try to unstick the ball. This is where this notion of tilt comes from, that you're just, we could say on monkey tilt, on full blown tilt, it's just when you're off your game. And, we extend this to life. We'll look at somebody and say, oh, this guy's on life tilt, or, you know what I mean? When people are off their game in any situation, as poker players, we like to use this word like, oh, I'm super tilted today.
That's an interesting way to put it. Like it's almost like the moment you give it a name, you almost have power over it. Do you feel that too?
Yeah, I mean, what you resist persists, right? It's Eckhart Tolle, or maybe it's Buddha, but it's very true. Like when you're trying not to be on tilt, you just like compounding your own tilt. And when you say, all right, I'm pissed, all of a sudden it's like a big weight off your shoulders. You're giving yourself permission to feel something, and that can be the true in many situations, like admitting to yourself you're feeling upset or something bothered you. And then you kind of accepted it. And then it's okay, well, what should I do given that already happened? It's already in the past. But until you've accepted something, especially something unfortunate that you would have preferred not to happen, you're still kind of in denial or like wrestling with it. And it just kind of keeps the whole funk going on longer.
So like, do you personally experience getting on tilt very often these days, being that this is something that you teach a lot, the insides and outs of the mindset and being on tilt and how to control that? Do you find yourself slipping up still?
Yeah, of course. The difference is you learn to correct faster. So you're not, for me, the goal is not to become the robot, the person who doesn't have any feelings. There are kind of two ways to deal with any situation where there's a lot of volatility, whether that's investing, whether it's playing poker, going up and talking to girls or whatever, anything where you're not sure what the result's going to be. One is to completely just numb out. Like whatever I do, I don't care. And I don't personally think that's like the only solution that can work or necessarily the best one. A lot of people end up kind of not enjoying their life when they teach themselves to numb out to everything. The other solution is to get super present with what you feel and be able to navigate that and for it to be okay. So like you lose a pot at the poker table, something doesn't go your way, you're like, oh wow, like I feel upset by that. Like I didn't get what I wanted. Like, okay. And and like just allowing yourself to feel whatever you feel, but then like don't make stupid decisions as a result. I think acknowledging your feelings, there's a lot of power and strength to be found in that, and not being afraid of your feelings or letting your feelings navigate and dictate your life.
Do you feel like it's a completely natural part of the process, like I guess going on tilt, like, but just in life, you said it extends to your life. This guy's on life tilt. Do you feel like it's natural, almost like they say the entrepreneurial roller coaster, that you're going to have those highs and you're definitely going to have those lows? Or do you feel like if someone can hypothetically get their life in order and get the systems in place, it's almost always like an upwards trajectory? What are your kind of thoughts on that?
That's a really good question. So I do think that we all have kind of historical feelings around certain kind of issues, like not feeling chosen, not getting what we want, feeling like life's unfair against us, feeling like injustice. A lot of people in the poker table, if they got bullied a lot in school, when somebody is like raising their blinds every hand, they feel that same anger, that like wanting to fight back. Or when they get unlucky, they feel that same injustice of when like their dad left when they were a kid, like stuff like this that is not intuitive or obvious, but we all have like a story around certain emotions. So poker, if you choose, can give you the opportunity to actually work through that stuff. And yes, I definitely think you can get to a place in your own kind of self actualization and self healing where you don't have those triggers anymore that you're not understanding, and you're able to like, okay, my, you know, my injustice is being triggered a little bit. That's okay. Like, and you kind of, it doesn't tilt you so much anymore. You know, you feel it, you accept it, and then you move through it very quickly, like almost instantaneously. And when that happens, you do get to that point where life's just getting better and better because you've trained your mind for more gratitude, more appreciation, faster acceptance, less resistance. So you feel better sooner and quicker. And when things happen that make you feel poorly, you course correct and, you know, move through it faster. So your lows aren't as low and your highs are much higher. I think most people in life, entrepreneurs especially, who kind of thrust themselves into a very uncertain world, will feel some intense lows. I know I sure did, like the beginning of my career. And I can say I still have downs relative to my baseline, but my baseline's way, way higher than it was 6, 7 years ago. So I'm getting happier, which is great.